there is a million things you could be doing in life. Millions of different things you could be pursuing, chasing, trying to get better at. I've had a few moments in my life where I've kind of thought about this. I remember around 25, I was like, oh my God, am I going to be nursing for the rest of my life? Even earlier than that, probably 23, 24. This is around the period that I wanted to go on the journey of becoming a doctor. Wasn't a very good high school student. My marks were not great. So I couldn't just sit the exam for the medical entry. I had to study for it. I've never really done chemistry or physics. Biology through nursing was, pretty simple for me. But a lot of those things I wasn't aware of the things that I needed to know. So I went back to uni and I studied physics and chem, and I sat the medical entry exam a few times. I passed the first time and the second time, and the second time I got an interview. And throughout the whole process for those 2-3 years that I was chasing that, around the age of 23 to, 22 to 25, something like that, I was nursing. I kept doing all of that business, working, but I structured my life around the studies. The study was the key. And through that whole process, I learned a lot, and I passed those exams, and I was really happy with my progress. And it got to a point where I got the interview for the medical entry exam after the exam, and I was like, oh shit, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to be a doctor? I was around 25, 26, something like that. My wife at the time and I at the time, we were thinking about starting a family. Okay, so how does this play? 4 years of med school, another year of internship, very busy life. Do I move away? Do I stay here? I never ended up getting into university in Adelaide, but with the score that I had, it was good enough to go into interstate. The medical school here in Adelaide was one of the harder ones to get into. So I had enough points to get in elsewhere, but ultimately I decided not to go down that path. And when I reviewed the whole process of why I actually wanted to become a doctor, it was all ego-driven. I'm better than just a nurse. I'm more smarter than just a nurse. I can be better than a nurse. I can earn more money. I can do better with my life. I ended up really deep diving into my thoughts around that period, and ultimately I never really wanted to do it. I was just happy that I got through the exam and I was, let's say, good enough to do medicine. I wasn't dumb. It was just a matter of working hard for a little bit and proving that I can actually do this stuff. And then once I realized I can do this stuff and I am good enough, that was almost kind of enough for me. Isn't that familiar? That story to what's happening right now. I found a bit of a stretch of training where I really, really improved. I'm not at a 300 kilo squat, but I feel like I'm good enough to get there, or whatever the feeling is, right? So there's all these thoughts that are coming back to me now in this period of this thought where I stop the squat everyday journey. Do I keep it going? How do I go about it? I'm thinking about all of this and I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, I'm learning a lot about myself, because I've had these type of scenarios played out in my life before. You pass the medical entry exam, you're good enough to do it, you just have to do it, but I don't. Something else is more important. Not even like 6 or 9 months after that decision of not doing medicine, we get pregnant and we start that whole aspect of our life. Become a dad at 27, we were pregnant at 26 and all that stuff, right? And all of that taught me something. It was an ego thing. Ego was driving that idea of I'm better. And then certainly when I became a dad, my whole paradigm shifted. Oh my God, this is where I want to be. I want to be a dad. Family is most important. The connection with people is most important, not the status and all of that. We all have our different journeys. We all have different fates and all that stuff. But you need to decide for yourself, where do you want to go? And sometimes the water is very murky. The thoughts are very murky. And you can't really see a path forward because you're battling with this ego. You're battling with this expectation of other people on you. I want to make my parents proud. I want to, be better than that dude that I was growing up, or whatever the thought is. The ego drives you, or that girl dropped me, so I'm going to become a doctor and show her that she made a mistake, man. You made a mistake. I'm a doctor now. Look at me, I'm a cardiologist. See, all these types of thoughts, you can drive you. This shit can drive you for sure. but is it going to fulfill you? What if you bump into that girl and you're a cardiologist of 20 years experience and she's married and does not give a shit about your success? How does that make you feel? Like you've done all of that for what? Somebody else to be like jealous? You really need to kind of work out why you're doing the things that you're doing. And certainly at 25, 26, I had those thoughts. And now I'm 35, 36, right? Having those thoughts again with this other thing. And there's always this, talk back dialogue in my mind. Like, okay, should I be nursing? Should I be living here? Should I be living there? Should I be doing something else? Should I be eating this? Should I be eating that? Like you can seriously question every little thing that you do in your life. Should I drop my hours at the hospital and spend more time with the family? Should I prioritize more money? Should I really build a business? My kids are not going to be kids for much longer, right? They say 5 years is childhood, and then you kind of lose them to the schooling system, and then all of a sudden, boom, your time with them is severely decreased. I know people that are just career-driven full stop, and they never spend time with their kids like we do. So it's a matter of personal preference of what you think is going to make you happiest. And for me, my gut feeling, my soul, I guess, whatever you want to call that feeling, has driven me, and I've trusted, so much because it's done well for me. Follow your gut feeling, and I reckon you'll be in a good place eventually. It doesn't mean you're always comfortable. That's not what I'm saying here. But follow your gut feeling. Your brain picks up information constantly. It's like the ultimate computer. It's always picking up all of this stuff. But your thoughts and you concluding certain things are very hard. You can't really come up with perfect conclusions for everything that you've experienced. But you have a feeling. You have this gut feeling. And that usually, even though you don't understand it, your mind does not understand it, that feeling in your chest can guide you. And that is what you should follow all the time, because that right there is where happiness is. You piss that chest feeling, that gut feeling, that soul. I don't care if you're a cardiologist with 3 jets, you're not going to be happy. And you certainly see a lot of people harm themselves, and you're like, why did that do that, man? Like, he's done this to himself. He's ended himself, yet he has everything. But what price did he pay? How much sacrifice did he have to go through for that? People talk about sacrifice all the time. I don't know, bro. Like, I don't want to sacrifice certain things in my life for anything. And people are like, you got to die for this championship. You got to die for that money. Okay, cool. You got that championship with an empty house. Your wife hates you. Your children hate you. But you got 10 championship trophies in your cabinet. Is that happiness? All these people know of you. You're famous. But nobody loves you. So who are you really doing this for? For that acquaintance? For that very distant person that knows your name because you're a very good sportsman? Or are you doing it for the people that love you? And that seesaw battle in your mind is always on. We ultimately have only a handful of people, if we're lucky, who truly care about us. Everyone else has probably taken a position in your life for some sort of benefit to themselves. It's not true. It's not full-hearted. It's not like your kids or your wife or your brothers or your sisters or something like that. These are the connections that you have to never sacrifice. And, of course, we see a lot of examples in the world where people have even sacrificed their own blood, their own family, their own relatives to get a little bit of ahead. That is a private conversation for you in your own mind when you go to bed tonight and you close your eyes and you think to yourself where you want to go. But these are the thoughts that drive me. And so when I have these reflective periods, I always go back to what is that gut feeling telling me? Where should I go? Because ultimately that thing, or what you want to call it, a God or a soul, has your best interest at heart. No organism goes out of its way to harm itself. I've never heard of anything like that where, the thing is trying to kill itself. I don't know about that. So it's not about a comfortable thing. It's not about not wanting to work hard. It's just about what do you want to do in this moment in time. There's a billion different things you could be doing, and you're choosing to do this. Does that still work with you? And that could be for a good habit or a bad habit. That could be just for anything. There's only so much time we have on this planet, man. And you're spending the most precious commodity that we have, which is time, in this thing. That's the question that you have to ask yourself. Is it worthy? Interesting, isn't it? Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.